Welcome everybody to another episode of Cohort 1986. Today it's not typically another episode. Today's a special one. We're launching a new series called The Marketplace Discussions. Meet the Owners. Candace, tell them about it, please.
Yes, I'm really excited about this new series. As you guys already know, we have a mentor series. Now we're launching this Marketplace Discussion, Meet the Owners. So this is a collaboration with BBOC, which is the Black Business Owners of Charlotte, also known as the Black Business Owners Corporation. So with this series, we're going to kick it off for the National Buy Black Week, okay? June the 14th through June the 20th. So for this, we're going to be featuring some of our BBOC members. So I'm going to turn it over to Rodney to introduce our very first guest.
So our very first guest and distinguished guest and very special guest.
Yes, we're excited to have him here.
It's Mr. Mondez Thomas. He's actually the current managing advisor for the Peace Advisors.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas, I just want you to briefly discuss your business and just what you do.
Sure. At Peace Advisors, we help people with insurance, investments, and of course, impacting the community. So our goal is to make sure our clients are insured with health insurance, life insurance, and then we help them manage their investments to help them grow, to create generational wealth, to protect them from taxation. And then we use those funds in the future. We haven't been able to do this yet, but that's our next step. Is working on using those funds to impact the community, to build affordable housing, to build, affordable infrastructure and food infrastructure and business infrastructure. So our kids and our children's children all have a legacy of stuff to work toward and build towards without having to, do the song and dance for people that may not necessarily look like them.
Wow, that's wonderful. Like, I'm so excited just kind of hearing about the infrastructure and the real impact that you're going to have here in Charlotte and around the world. Charlotte is just a starting point, right? So I think that's absolutely wonderful. So Mondez, so why insurance? Like, how did you get into this?
So I actually started back in 2002, 2003 at Mechanics and Farmers Bank. Small local North Carolina bank, Black-owned bank from like 1906.
Wow.
One of the oldest operating banks in the nation. And I got to meet a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, community members there. And from there, I left. We went into working for Wall Street directly as a day trader, then working E-Trade. That was a lot. And then when I realized how much money people were making, it made me upset. It really made me upset because people just don't know how easy it is to make money. I mean, for example, I saw one of my clients, she bought one stock and she traded one stock and she literally just took money from people. She turned $100,000 into $1.5 million in about 12 months.
Wow.
And I teach people how to do this, and it's literally the easiest thing to do. And all she did was just take people's money. There was no risk involved except for, the stock market completely collapsing. But she just took people's money and at this point, gosh, she's got to be over $10 million if she keeps doing it. But she didn't need the money and she just kept making the investments. So once I saw her do that, I was just like, I could teach this to people. But, I got to get paid, because I had bills, wife at the time, and that didn't work out. But, you as a man, you have responsibilities. You have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others.
That's it.
So I decided to strike out on my own and, do the financial advisory thing back in 2007, 2008.
Wow.
That completely failed. Went through divorce, went through homelessness for a moment.
Wow.
Unfortunately had people, God always provides. So I had people that let me stay with them and, get back on my feet and figure stuff out. And we just, it worked out. So that ended up leading to the insurance side of things. 2009 and 2010, we started independently working for a company. Fast forward, we left them in 2017 and started our own branch because we realized that, a lot of and I don't want to say this negatively about my industry, but a lot of African American seniors are taken advantage of.
Right.
They are.
They're sold policies that don't fit them. Younger African Americans are sold policies that they don't necessarily need or understand.
True.
They're missing out on a lot of the opportunities that are available to them that the companies want to give to them, but no one knowingly gives them the information that they need, or they look down on their situation.
Right.
They see them as unstable. They see them as they're going to lapse their policy. They can't pay their bills. They're not responsible, whatever the case may be. And it's a lot of stigma attached to that. And, me and my business partners, we decided that, that's not true. That's not us.
Right.
And we're not going to treat people that way.
Right.
So we took care of our clients, and our clients have rolled with us since. And right now we have over at least 1,000 clients that I can count on my database.
Wow.
Like I said, we do, 4 years in business, we did over 1,000 clients, over $10 million in annual revenue coming in.
Wow. That's great.
We pump it. So we help people with health insurance.
Okay.
We help people with the Affordable Care Act. We help people understand legislation. We help people with Medicare, long-term care, Medicaid.
Wow.
One thing we don't realize as people is that we are all going to die.
Yeah.
The question is, as soon as you're born, you're going to die. The big question is, how much is it going to cost before you get there?
Wow. True. That's a good point. That's a real good point.
We don't know. People talk about putting money in for burial. I have my own feelings on that, but I worry about the wife that's left behind, the children that are left behind.
Right.
The bills that you leave behind, the unfinished obligations. Whatever it could be. You can build. You could build communities if we all planned and worked together.
Yeah.
Crabs in a barrel. We don't have to. We could build each other up.
Yeah.
It's very simple, but it's going to take coordination. It's going to take competence, and it's going to take community to do all that. And that's what we're trying to foster here in Charlotte.
Wow.
And across the country.
That's awesome. You said a couple of things I really want to unpack. So the first one being that you guys are taking a different approach with selling insurance, right? So you're educating people, you're making the best plan for them. Because, we all get these flyers in the mail, sign up here for, insurance or term life or, whole life. And people really don't understand, what are the differences between those. So if you could just talk a little bit about the life insurance and, what are some of the differences with the life insurance?
Yeah, we find that our biggest competition are the companies that we work for. So, we work for about 40. We contract with about 40 to 50 different carriers across all different types of product lines. So when you look at life insurance, there has to be a purpose behind it.
Right.
If there's no purpose, I'm going to ask you, why are you buying this?
True.
This doesn't make sense. When you're younger, you're under 40, depending on what your budget is, the first policy you should buy is a term policy.
Right.
And then, I'm going to get flack from all my, co-workers and everything. They're going to say, oh, we argue about this stuff all the time.
Right.
But you start with a term policy, do $1 million. You can buy $1 million policy for $30 to $40 a month. Start there.
Right.
Right. Because you're healthy, and when you buy your term policy, make sure it has a conversion feature. So 30 years down the road, you can convert that policy into something else if you need to. Wow. But God forbid you pass away, your family's going to be $1 million, better off. I don't want to say I mean, that's terrible.
I mean,
it depends on how you look at it.
That they ain't have,
$1 million you really didn't have.
Right.
We don't want people off at each other. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we're not condoning.
We don't want to wait that 2-year period out. So you didn't hear that, but what we look for is do $1 million, and the reason I say $1 million, you start there is because at 30, when you turn 60, 70 years old, if you don't use that policy, if you don't hurry up and die within those 30 years, you can sell that policy.
Wow.
That policy could be a lump sum of money that you can pay to whatever. I mean, we don't know what our life is going to look like, 10, 20 years down the road, let alone 30 years.
Right.
Hopefully by 30 years, your kids are grown and they're out of your hair, but, you might still be taking care of them. You never know.
I mean, the way this world is going, you're right.
True.
You might be raising your grandbabies or your great grandbabies, depending on how well you did, So we never know. So, but you start with $1 million when you're 20 to 30 years old. When you're between 30 and 50 years old, you need to look at universal life, index universal life to be specific.
Okay.
Index universal life will give you growth. What we look for in that policy, hopefully you're working in your job, your career, whatever you're doing. That policy is designed to grow cash value, period. So it protects your death benefit. So if you die prematurely, unexpectedly, without previously planning it out, you will get money. But if you continue to live, the purpose of that policy is to continue to grow cash at a high rate and a safe rate so that you can retire off that money. You can stack money in those policies tax-free and away from any type of scrutiny from, what is it, FAFSA loans or whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You can I don't want to say hide, but you can put this money away in a way that's completely safe, protected, and it grows for you. And you're talking about growth rates between 6 to 14% annually.
Wow.
So, if you use the rule of, the compounding rule, you're looking at doubling every 7 years, whatever cash value you put in there. So that's how you can retire tax-free. That's what you want to buy when you're that age. You want to start stacking your money in there if you're not contributing to a 401k or something.
Yeah.
When you get older, you're looking at, between 50, when you're over 50 years old, insurance gets expensive. Your health becomes an issue. Hopefully you've made it 50 years without any battle scars or wounds. So the biggest thing you're looking for is going to be, honestly, long-term care insurance. If you have money and assets to protect, you're looking at long-term care insurance with your life insurance, or you're looking at whole life just to bury you. I mean, I'm against putting money in the ground. I'll just say it. If funeral homes don't like me for it, but I really don't care. What are they going to do? They're going to do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to worry about what they say about me while I'm living.
They are.
But, I'm against putting money in the ground. I think it could be used to grow. Master P started No Limit Records with a $10,000 policy from his grandfather, parent, whoever passed away, and now he's a billionaire. Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
What's my casket going to do for my family?
Not much.
They could draw a picture of me and put it on the refrigerator for all I care. I'm good. So, like I said, we're a little different. So we're not.
Mr. Thomas, I have a question for you. What are some predatory things to kind of look out for, especially in the life insurance realm dealing with seniors?
Seniors, you have to be careful of anyone who tells you to change your policy. Number one, if they're telling you to change their policy, they better have a good reason. And if you do not understand, get them to explain it to you and your children.
Yeah.
If they're not willing to explain it to you and your children, walk away.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes, people don't explain things. My agents do not change insurance policies for you just on a whim. We just don't do it. The only reason we would ever change your policy is if we're increasing your benefits or lowering your price. That's it. And we report that to the state when we do it. So it's attached to your policy, and we document those reasons why we would change your policy.
Good.
We're not actively calling people say, "Hey, buy this life insurance."
Yeah.
If someone's calling you to buy life insurance, if they're advertising to you, I mean, I'm always skeptical. That's why we don't really advertise it. So if you want it from us, you come and ask us for it, and we'll bring it up in conversation sometimes, but we're not actively pushing it upon you to buy it. But life insurance, predatory, you just have to be careful. Like, you have to know what you're signing. So there's a lot of really good agents that have really bad training. So, there's good people out here doing things for people, and that's why we had to become independent because we were good people working for a company that,
it's important to be ethical and to keep your integrity in everything that you do. And I think you definitely gave people a lot to think about. And thank you so much for, breaking down, what people should do at those different stages in their lives. And I just want to say, hey guys, it ain't too late to go ahead and reach out to the Peace Advisors and see what it is that you need, and to be educated about it, right? And for you guys to take that time with people. A lot of the times we sell services to people and they're like, okay, I'm gonna buy it, but I don't know what it means. So, I think that's very important work that you guys are doing.
I wholeheartily agree. Mr. Thomas, can you talk about 401k management?
Yeah.
And why that's critical?
Yeah. Absolutely. The funny thing, we have people that work for the government. And the way the government's set up, they have only certain funds that they're allowed to invest in because, conflicts.
Right.
The problem is most of the people that work for the government only invest in the money market account that pays them like less than 1% a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So the money that they put in is the money that they're getting back. Albert Einstein said one of the greatest, most fascinating things in the world is compound interest. If you're compounding your money at 7% a year, you're looking at doubling your money every 10 years. So we want to find out how we can grow our money while we're working. We do safe investing. That's what we preach. Safe investing allows you, this is, again, I base it on age, man. So,
that's perfect.
This is what we need. This is perfect.
That is perfect because people can easily identify and say, okay, well, this is where I am.
This
so, they can clue in. So I think that's great. So break it down for us.
If you're over 50, we're going to do safe investing because we don't have time to go back and work. I don't want you having to fill out applications online at Walmart and McDonald's and, when you're retired. I want you to enjoy your retirement. So what we look at is protecting your income, protecting your investments, and we're going to use products to do that for you. Those products typically grow between 7 to 14% a year. So you're going to continue growing your money. But you're going to minimize your risk of loss.
Okay.
So we don't be losing money. If you're, in your 40s, you need to start evaluating your options. You need to understand what you're invested in. You need to get a financial advisor like myself. You need to figure out what's going on so you can start making plans. If you're under 40, you're just starting, you need to go you need to hit the home runs. I'm going to tell you right now, 401k is secured, is government regulated. So we can show you certain things depending on what your company's offering. We're not going to we may be able to manage it for you. We may be able to team up with one of our companies that does artificial intelligence so that can keep track of the market for you while you're invested. So they can detect a downturn in the market so you're protected based on your current investments.
That's a good add-on. That's a really good add-on.
And that's free. We don't charge for that at all.
Wow.
We have services. Later this year, we're going to be launching cryptocurrency. So we'll be able to do cryptocurrency in your 401k, in your investments. They're not going to like that when they hear about that, the competition. I'm sorry.
You heard it here first.
and we're independent, so we're not, our fees aren't like anybody else's. So we're way cheaper and way better at it. And we're invested ourselves in it. So, I'm not going to do anything I wouldn't do for myself for you. I wouldn't put my mama in it. I wouldn't put you in it. So that's, we're growing our money. We're aggressively attacking the market.
Cool.
Because the world's about to change. And I give it it's changing now, whether you realize it or not. And in 5 years, you're not going to recognize this world. I mean, the banking system just in general is dead weight. It has no purpose in cryptocurrency. And the bankers are desperately trying to get it on top of it so they can control it.
Regulation.
They're trying to, but this is the Wild West out here, and we don't. Why are you? If I go to a bank and ask for a loan, why am I waiting for you to give me permission to pay you money? Are you serious?
Right.
Like, I'm gonna pay you money. You can see my income. You could take my income.
Right.
I'm not gonna ask you for permission. Who do you think you are to pay you interest? You must be out your mind. So cryptocurrency has already solved that. You could do mass borrowing. Mass lending. You can do. You could be a lender. So if you have $1,000 in your crypto, you can lend your money and you can actually, get paid interest on that. I'm talking, micro funding projects in other countries, everything.
Wow. You guys hear this? I want everyone to listen in. This is some way that you can make some residual income.
Yeah. And I mean, we're not just talking residual income. We're talking about life-changing, transformative income.
Yeah.
Because money, when you understand how money works, it has to work. If it's sitting still and doing nothing, it's going to depreciate and lose value because of interest, or not interest, inflation. So money has to work, and it has to outperform inflation. And right now we have inflation around 2%. So if inflation is 2% and you're paying more for your food, why is your money sitting in your wallet or in your mattress? It needs to be in the streets getting to work. You got to be
true.
You got to be one of those old school pimps like Mr. White folks and tell that thing to go to work on the corner. You know what I mean? That's what you have to do. And if it's not working for you, you have a bad manager. If your bank is paying you 0.01% on your money, you need to fire your bank. We offer bank accounts to our clients that pay, almost 2 to 3% just on your savings account. Like, call me. Like, I'm not going to charge you. It's just free. Like, I will give you an account that will quadruple the amount of money interest you're earning on the money that's just sitting there. If you have an escrow account, if you're in real estate and you have to have your money sitting there, why are you not making money on your money that's just sitting there? In cryptocurrency right now, the US dollar, I shouldn't even say it, but the US dollar right now in cryptocurrency is paying 12% interest. 12%.
Wow.
That's just sitting in cash.
Wow.
That's, there's no sales. I'm not selling anything on that. There's a link to a website. I will give it out and you will get 12% on your cash. And then when you take it out, you'll have the same amount of cash plus 12% for however long you did it. That's it. It's easy. And that's just, there's no investment there. It's just it's tied to the US dollar. So, we're getting robbed by the buildings, the skyscrapers we see and all these people who pretend to be impressive in our society. And until, companies like us stand up for our clients and our people, we're going to continue to be taken advantage of. Those towers that are built, right behind me here are, built with your dollars.
They are.
That's what it is, so why aren't they investing in your community? Why aren't they freely giving you the money that you deserve? Why are we stuck paying interest on mortgages? Why are home values in Charlotte gone from, I had a chance to buy a house for $65,000. The same house is now worth $200,000.
Yeah, or more.
Same here.
3 years later, like, why are we being priced out? Why are you pressuring us to pay for all this stuff just so we could live and work and enjoy our family? The reason why is because we don't have control over our situation. Until you have money, until you have the power, until they respect you. We were raised on Biggie. And Lil' Kim, they told us,
what you need in life.
So it's going to take money. And until at Peace Advisors, we firmly believe that you need to have money. And our job is to make you wealthy. Like, we want you to be wealthy so you can decide. We don't have all the answers. But you can decide what your business is going to look like, what your kids are going to be able to do. Why are kids taking out loans to go to college? Why are we begging for, forgiveness? No. I could go to the college bookstore, buy the book and skip the tuition. How about that? How you feel about me now? That's, I can take the class on YouTube. How about that?
Church right here.
Okay.
Keep your paper. I don't need you to validate me, but that's not a popular statement.
Right.
So, and why are you charging me $500 for a textbook when I can look it up online?
I have never understood that. Like that, I'm just like, I don't get it.
So, it's a lot to unpack, and I'm not here to tear down institutions. Everybody's got their business that they're running and operating, but we need to be honest with ourselves, and we need to look out for the best interests of ourselves, our families, and our community.
That's right.
So I'm not going to be apologetic in that. I want people to succeed.
Yeah.
With Amazon and with information and YouTube and everything else, information is freely given.
Yeah.
So we want to direct people. We want to build community, and we use, like I said, insurance, life insurance, investments, managing 401ks to do that the right way. Your 401k is supposed to be your supplement to your Social Security. That's what they signed it for. So if you take your 401k, you multiply it times 3%, and then if you multiply times 3%, that's your annual income.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an easy way to look at it. So if you have $100,000, you're looking at making $3,000 a year for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Can you live off of that?
No.
Right.
No.
So my number personally, I look at my bills and my budget. I need at least $2 million in a 401k to pay my bills and to live comfortably. So that's $60,000. So how do I get $60,000 where I can live risk-free, comfortably, and pay my bills without having to worry about it? At $60,000, I'm good. But I had to get $2 million in assets to get to that point. So how do I get to $2 million if I only have 20, 30 years till I retire?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that by, holding money market accounts and government funds. It's not going to happen.
Life planning for your life.
Yeah. So if I'm not looking out, I have, I'm blessed. I have a healthy mom. I don't have any kids, so I don't have any expenses that are draining my resources like significantly, except for my own, whims.
Right.
So, I'm blessed, but I do have a sister that I'm planning on looking after because she's about 20 years younger than me. So just as I stressed out my mom, I'm sure she's going to stress me out.
Right. She will.
I brought that on myself. It's okay.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But I have to make money to provide for whatever she decides to do, whatever she may need in the future. Because I don't want my mom stressing about taking care of my sister.
Right.
That wouldn't make sense. I want my mom to live a happy life and do whatever she chooses to do. If she chooses to blow all the money she ever made in her life, God bless her.
Yeah.
That's her choice.
Have fun with it.
If she leaves from behind, I must have did a good job as a son. But either way, it's her money, it's her life, and she's free to do it as she pleases. So, but your 401k is designed to take care of you. And, my mom's biggest concern when she retires is that she's making the same income that she's making while she's working.
Right.
You can check it right now on Social Security to see how much Social Security is going to pay you.
Yeah.
And for typical people, it's between $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Can you pay all your bills on $2,000 a month?
No.
I can barely, after just taking out the rent or the mortgage,
Oodles and noodles after that.
Noodles.
Noodles. It's gonna be noodles. It's gonna be cold noodles too, because you can't afford water.
Can't afford hot water.
They have croutons, so it's not good, but I've been there too. So croutons are good.
Yeah.
So they don't digest well, but they're good.
Mr. Thomas, you kind of alluded to the fact that leaving something behind is critical.
Yeah.
Can you talk about like estate planning and will writing? Me personally, I've seen situations where that can get messy.
Oh yeah,
somebody transitions.
Very messy.
Can you just like explain the importance of it and just what does your company do to help our community with that?
Yeah.
Sure. So we do wills, trust, healthcare, power of attorneys, living trust. We do that for a fee, but it's way cheaper than what you pay a lawyer, and it's all recorded, digitized, nationwide, applicable in every state. The reason why we do this, it's critical. I'll give you one situation from one of my favorite clients. She God bless her heart, she just turned 90. She's watching this. Her family's watching this. They don't know who I'm talking about, but her husband passed away, unfortunately, while she was probably in her 70s. Her husband had the house in his name. He was the man of the house. He's a good guy, had the house in his name. And when they were planning on passing, they were planning on, of course, passing away together, right?
Right. Yeah.
So the house was in his name. So he left the house to the kids. Problem was, when he passed away, she didn't. So what happens to the house? The house went to the kids. So the kids hopefully love their mom, right?
Yeah.
So they were like, well, cool, mom, you can stay here. Unfortunately, there was one relative that didn't feel that way. It's not that she didn't like the mom, it's that she wanted her money. So she's like, oh, he left us some money in the house. So why don't we sell the house in Charlotte and get some money? Because Charlotte's popping. So I should be able to get some money, right?
Wow.
So they forced an entire lawsuit case and everything. Mama's about to lose her house. They have an entire case going against her. Who's gonna It's a mess, right?
Yeah.
So they find out the value of the house, and it was right when the market hit bottom, right?
Right.
Market hit bottom.
Yeah.
So she was only going to get like somewhere between like $2,000 and $10,000 for the house, which isn't, in the grand scheme of things, isn't a lot of money. She thought she was going to get a whole bunch of money. So the brothers and sisters teamed together, paid her cash, bought her portion, and then now they own the house all together. And Mama's able to stay there and live the rest of her life there without any stress. Now, if they would have had a will, of course, Mama could have stayed at the house without any problems.
Right.
Without the will, they had to go through all this legal rigmarole, pay lawyers, argue about it, hurt each other's feelings.
That's awful.
I don't know if they get along now, but they're never gonna forget that you tried to put my mama on the street.
Oh no!
Try to put mama out the house. We got problems.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't look at I can't fry fish or have a barbecue with you, without throwing something like
nothing. I don't even think we can have
a on everybody, and I'm gonna wait 2 years. Then we're gonna have this discussion. That's what's gonna happen. So, that's y'all didn't hear that. But
that's why that really happens, though. Like it really happens.
Like I'm gonna give an example. I'm originally from Charleston, and like my father's side of the family has heirs property, and all it takes is for one person to try to sell that land. Everybody loses their portion.
Yeah.
Everybody,
and just thinking about stuff like that, it's quite sad. It's quite sad.
Yeah.
You get it in writing, and the other part of that is when it comes to like healthcare power of attorneys.
Yeah.
What if we hate to think of someone getting a stroke and passing away or not able to take care of themselves or having dementia.
Yeah.
But what if I'm playing with my grandbaby and I fall down? I bump my head. Now I got a hemorrhage in my brain, and you got to define if I'm going to be on life support or not. Who's going to make that decision?
Right.
That's it doesn't have to be a disease. It doesn't have to be a condition. It could be a simple accident. I'm driving down 85 and some guy wants to drive by me real fast in his Charger, and I get scared and nervous. Right. And then I pull over and I hit somebody. Now I'm critical condition. Who's going to make the decision for me? I could be 40 years. It could happen to me today. Who can, and I don't have, disclaimer, I don't have a power of attorney, but who would make that decision for me?
Right.
I'm unconscious in the hospital. The hospital is like, okay, well, what do we do with this guy?
Right.
That's not, I want to live, let's put that out there. I want to live. Go ahead. I got checks coming in. I'm trying to keep those. So go ahead. Let me stay.
Exhaust all efforts to resuscitate.
The judge has to look at it, go ahead, keep me alive. I'm good. But you don't want a judge or a jury determining what's going to happen to your estate, to your health, to your person. Make those decisions for yourself, get it in writing, get it notarized. And, we use the legal documents, but if you don't even have a legal document, just you can write it on a napkin, you can write it on a piece of paper, get it notarized, whatever you got to do. But just make your wishes known so those who are in charge of taking care of you know what your wishes are. We have a big issue nowadays, especially when it comes to like social media. I know Facebook just created a thing where you can designate a beneficiary to manage your Facebook account when you pass away.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw that. My brother actually just did that the other day, and I was like, oh my God. And then I did it. We swapped it. So, but yeah, I mean, these are conversations we need to have.
Yeah. And, we have conversations with married couples and getting married couples and divorcing couples. I've been married twice. I've been divorced twice. Fortunately, it didn't cost me as much as it's cost other people, but I've seen people get divorced with alimony and kids and all kinds of stuff. And, it breaks down to bad communication. It breaks down to just situations and what you don't want. It's like a Tyler Perry special. If you, say I'm married to, Barbara, right? And my family leaves me an inheritance. Like you said, you had an inheritance of land, right? And then all of a sudden pass away. Now Barbara can go and take the land because I'm married to her, community property or whatever. She can say, I don't care about any of y'all. Y'all weren't there for us.
Right.
And then take all that. Or she could divorce and then take his inheritance as well. So there's a lot that could happen in marriage. So we teach people, this is just free information. It's called per stirpes. You can do that when you do your will, and that means it only goes, the property and everything you leave only goes to the beneficiaries that are blood related. So no marriage or anything could ever interrupt that, Wow. And that's a powerful thing because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know.
People act up, when you get divorced, everything come out.
Yeah. And people, they put on for the gram.
Real.
People put on for the gram and put on for Facebook, and you get married, and then all of a sudden you wake up and the makeup is off and the bonnet's on, and you're like, who is this?
Who is this? What happened? What happened?
Where am I?
So I have to ask you, what are some tips that you have for entrepreneurs or people who are looking to get started in insurance?
In insurance or just in general?
Both. Let's do both.
So if you're trying to get it started in insurance, come work for me, period.
Yes.
We'll start
advisors.
Don't waste your time with other places. If you are working in commercial or property and casualty insurance, there's great agents. Work for a local agent, though. Don't work for a major person. Work for a local agent. Learn the game. Learn how it works. Learn how to build relationships. Learn how to communicate. If you are learning health insurance, and you don't want to, we start from scratch. So our agents earn a commission, so we don't pay salary yet. So if you are struggling financially and you need income, you can work for a major corporation, save your money. But when you start doing what we do, you need to have a client base.
Right.
Don't start without a client base, and your family is not your client base. Family is actually the toughest sale you'll ever make if you have to sell them insurance. It took me, 5 years to try to sell my grandmother insurance, and then it never happened. So
your grandma like, no, baby.
She actually went and bought it from somebody else, and they messed her up. And I told her, like, it is what it is, right? So, but that's family, so. But I would call and check on her all the time, like make sure she was all right. And, I gave her the best advice I could. But, we are independent. So, with us, you're starting from the bottom. But if you don't have the money to do that or the client base, you need to work with somebody or work for a corporation, get paid for free, save your money, and then learn how to talk to people.
Right.
As far as entrepreneurship, I see a lot of entrepreneurs out here. The problem with a lot of entrepreneurs is that they fail, and the failure is because they're not making money. You need to learn how to make $1 first. If your product is not bringing in profit from day one, you're wasting your time. If you have to put up $1,000 just to make 500, you're on the wrong side of the scale. So I see a lot of people that try to get into retail and they buy a whole bunch of inventory, and then their inventory is outdated by the time they sell it. There's a joke on Black Girl skit where these two women bought the exact same outfit from two completely different vendors, thinking they got the hookup, but it was the exact same outfit. It's like,
that's not like Amazon.
It's like, girl, like, I got this from so and so, and I got this from so and so, and y'all were in the exact same thing. It's like, come on, and find a niche.
Right.
A lot of people don't find it. Our niche is in helping people. Our purpose is to help people, and because we help people, people help more people. And, that's what we do. That's how we make our money. That's how we've been able to survive for 4 years. That's why we continue to grow. I think there's a lot of retailers. People don't cater to people with kids. There's so many parents out here with kids that are just struggling. That want to help their kids, that want to build their kids. I mean, at the Black food truck shows that we see everybody at, there's an amazing company out there that sells books. I would love to just go out there and buy books. I just don't have any kids to give them to. And if I give you a book, I want you to read it. So,
right.
I
you need both.
but, it's like, gear yourself towards kids. We were at a festival, a farm festival for lavender in Dallas yesterday, and it was just kids everywhere.
Right.
People want to do stuff with their kids. They want to enjoy life with their kids.
Yeah.
They want camps, they want clothes, they want stuff for their kids. You don't have to keep, doing the ratchet stuff.
Right.
So you don't. If you are going to do the ratchet stuff, be you. Don't, stop following all these influencers. Be your own influence. But yeah, I think people don't take the time to find their niche. They don't take the time to define their market. They don't take the time to decide on what they want to do. They just want to sell something and make money. Right. Or you're trying to copycat somebody, and that's never going to work. And if you're the jack of all trades and master of none, hello, that's not going to work.
No, it's not going to work.
You have to be laser focused. There's one sun in the world. It provides all the energy to everybody, right? If you want to get the full power of the sun, you have to focus with a magnifying glass, those beams of sunlight, and you can see the real power of that sun. So until you focus your energy onto something, you're never going to realize your true power. So you have to commit 100% until I am all insurance. Like my phone rings all day long for health insurance, and that's fine. We do investments. That's fine. You can ask me about crypto. That's fine. But that's who I am. I'm in a relationship now with an amazing woman, and she understands that's who Mondez is. Yeah. This is what he does. We were on vacation for like 12 days in Puerto Rico. Like 7 of those days we were working. So, people are calling like, "You're on vacation." Like, yeah, what's up? How can I help you? Like, I'm on the beach taking phone calls, filling out your stuff. I'm okay. This is what I do. This is who I am. Right. We don't really get a chance to disconnect, and the life of an entrepreneur is not easy. Right. The reason why entrepreneurs make a lot of money is because they take the risks that other people aren't willing to do. We stand 10 toes down on the mountaintop, ready to jump with or without a parachute. Yeah. Not knowing where we're going to land, but we're going to do it anyway because we've had enough of everything we've been through behind us. Yeah. So you have to be that bold. And entrepreneurship's not for everybody. Right. Entrepreneurs need help.
Right.
Right. They need people who know how to do. Yeah, we need people that know how to run an office. We need people that know how to do human resources. We need people that know how to build stuff. Engineers. We need marketers. We need professionals. So if you're in a professional space, consult yourself out on here's free advice, right? You work a corporate job, you make a specific salary, and you're miserable because that you feel like that's your limitation. Well, here's a newsflash. Go ahead, create a 1099, create yourself as a consultancy, hire yourself out on the weekends or in your off hours, give advice to these entrepreneurs, charge them $100 to $500 for your consultancy, then write that off and then write it against your corporate salary and take it as a loss. And then boom, all of a sudden your tax bill goes up and you just made yourself more money, whether you make money or not. So that's free advice. This is not, I'm not a tax professional.
Free game.
But if you're one of those corporate people that want money, this is one way. I mean, it's simple. We need help as entrepreneurs. And I love Kate for doing the business.
Love Kate.
And he's got everybody networking. And it's like, there's a lot of professionals that are stuck and miserable in their job. And if you can actually take an hour or 2 out of your week and give it to entrepreneurs, you can write that off of your taxes. Right. You can get grants for that. Whatever it is, we have to work this together as a community. There's entrepreneurs who need capital, seed capital. They have great ideas. I'm not going to advertise them now, but there's a bunch of entrepreneurs.
Shout them out.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No, I'm good.
But there's entrepreneurs out here that could use seed money.
Right.
Shout out, I'll give a couple shout outs. So, when we were in the pandemic, we saw a lot of people being stuck at home. So big shout out to Davidson Wine, the urban winery. They're doing the wine in Davidson. She has an amazing dynamic where she creates the wine in-house, and then she has an entire restaurant with an amazing chef partner that she has. Wow. Beautiful. And then you got Ebony Wine, which is just blowing up. She's out here hitting this pavement harder than any woman I've seen. Well, I'm not gonna say any woman, but she's hitting the pavement hard, running it. then I personal favorite, Red Rose vodka.
Yeah, we have to try that.
It goes in everything. And if you want the best drink, take some Red Rose and get you a little rock candy swivel stick and put it in there and just enjoy yourself. Yeah, y'all ain't ready for that.
Okay. We'll take that out though.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. But it's just good by itself. But she's out here. Shout out to Taylor running that company, making it happen. And these people do it for their families. These people are out here grinding, doing everything they can for their families. And the least we can do is if we're going to go to a bar, we're going to go to get a drink, we're going to entertain guests at our home, we get our products from these people.
That's right.
We come out on social media, we find them, we buy their products, we buy it in bulk, we send it to our friends.
Yep.
I can't legally do it yet, but we're probably going to be sending out liquor and wine to our clients.
Nice.
Do not call me right now and say, "Hey, where's my bottle?"
I was gonna ask. I was like, so how do we sign up to?
So that would be happening in the future, but we can't do that. We can't do that right now because of certain laws that are in place.
Right.
But we're gonna get the disclaimers handled so our lawyers won't have any issues with it.
Nice.
But be friends with lawyers. Oh my gosh, lawyers are great.
Yes.
Learn how to read.
Mm-hmm. That part.
A lot of people don't read.
They don't.
I'm guilty of this too. I just click the accept button a lot of times. But learn to read. It's important. You spend all those years in school not just to not use it. Learn to read and do your math. No when someone's taking advantage of you financially.
Right.
But yeah, it's simple things. But entrepreneurs need help, so we can all work together. There's a lot of people who are in corporate America that want to be entrepreneurs, but you might not have that, risk it all attitude.
Right.
So go out and find an entrepreneur to support. Yeah. Do it part-time while you don't need the money, while someone else is paying you.
Love it.
Just don't tell anybody about it. Do it through a corporation, hide it, and then write it off on your taxes at the end of the year.
Love it. Tip. Oh my God, you have given people so much knowledge.
Gems.
I mean,
and ask your tax professional. Don't just get your taxes filed. Ask them for how to make more money. Push these people. We're all professionals. We are used to doing transactions, but once you learn the game, ask him. Don't just I've used TurboTax for years. Now I have a person doing my taxes. Shout out to Joelle Perry. She's amazing. And do your taxes. Ask them questions.
Right.
They're glad to answer and research it for you because we're all any person who's an entrepreneur or consultant, we're all nerds. This is what we live, this is what we love. So you have to push us, and we respond well to it because this is we love to know.
Yeah.
Right.
I just that's what we do. So but just ask the questions and don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't feel like you're stupid. Don't there's no dumb questions. Dumb questions are the ones that aren't asked.
Right.
You could ask me a million dumb questions that at the end of the day, I know that you're interested in what I'm telling you. Otherwise, you wouldn't waste your energy. Ask me that question.
Right.
So I'd rather you ask and, we figure it out and then you go forward and be successful.
Yeah. Gotcha. Couldn't agree more.
Mr. Thomas, can you plug the different ways people can reach you?
Yeah. Where can we find you?
Absolutely. You go to our website, peaceadvisor.com. You can add me on Facebook, Mondez Thomas. You can add Peace Advisors on Facebook. Okay. We are going to be launching on Twitter and TikTok and YouTube and everywhere else here shortly. We have a lot to talk about. Yeah. And, our company's never really advertised. We only advertise word of mouth. So unless you know about us, you don't know about us.
Right.
And we like it that way because we really believe in taking care of friends and family first.
Yeah.
So we built our business out that way, but we're going to start advertising. So you can connect with us at peaceadvisors.com. Peace Advisor on Twitter. Let's see. Peace Advisors on Twitter, Instagram, and then peaceadvisor.com, and then Peace Advisor on YouTube and TikTok. Those will be launching here towards the end of the year. But we just want to advertise and let people know who we are.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And we want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes.
You imparted so much wisdom to us.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking at all my notes here.
Paper full of notes.
Hey, get that money, man. It's all free. It's free game. You just got, Jay-Z talked about it. He was collecting chains and cars, and he could have been buying buildings. He's kicking himself for it. Now he's a billionaire. His wife's probably a billionaire. We don't know what her worth is. His child, more importantly, Blue Ivy's worth $500 million today. Are you kidding me? $500 million? Like, she could, like, I could go work for Blue Ivy. She's 9. Like, what? Like, yes, ma'am.
What would you like me to do?
Like, yes, ma'am. Okay, I get benefits. Whatever. So again, we help with health insurance and everything. So if you have questions on health insurance, please call us. But yeah, we just want people to be successful. We want people to save money where they can. We want people to build their community and make the smart investments that are available to them.
Yes. Gotcha. And most importantly, they're ethically sound. So if you are in the market for insurance, if you're in the market for help with your financial planning, wills, estate planning,
whole life,
investments,
term life,
please, by all means, reach out to Peace Advisors. And so just want to kind of wrap up for you guys. So if you want to learn more about BBOC, head over to their website. You can learn more about membership, Buy Black Week, all the other great things that they're doing with the connector. And so, Rodney, where can the people find us, Cohort 1986?
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Yeah.
And also you can find us on our website, cohort1986.com.
Yeah.
And also you can find us on the podcast form through Apple, Spotify. We're available on all channels.
Yeah. So guys, please, go out, check out Peace Advisors, check out BBOC, check out Cohort 1986 for more content like this. And we are out for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.